Hey guys, how's it going? Just got back from Thailand, and I'm gonna talk about some things that I learned specifically about YouTube, because I learned a lot. I also learned a lot of stuff about YouTube, and I can't talk about all of it because there's literally so much. So I'm just gonna talk about the few things that helped me out a lot, tips that are just like really good for beginner YouTubers, and all of them really, and for people that don't even do YouTube. They're applicable to everything. Say hello to the welcome polar bear. Have you seen him? Can you see him now? He should be in focus. If not, this lens sucks. Anyways, we're gonna get started. So tip number one that I learned from Potatojet: if your channel is information based, find things that people want to hear that haven't already been said. You don't want to be the same as everyone else. So even if all the stuff you're saying is really good information, if everyone else has already said it and the person that has said most of it is way more famous and has way more influence than you on YouTube, they're gonna watch him. They're not gonna watch you. So if you want to make yourself valuable, you have to give them information that they don't already have, or focus on something that the other people aren't focusing on, because no one wants to see the same thing that everyone else is doing in the exact same way. You take the same thing that they're doing and you do it in a different way. That's how you make it more compelling. So the way Gene described it is, if he's making a camera video and Peter McKinnon, other camera people, have already released a video about that camera, talking about maybe say like the strengths of it or something, he's not gonna go make a video and say the exact same points that they all made. He's not even going to take all their points and compile them together. He is going to focus on something that they did not focus on. He's going to become an expert on something that not everyone else is an expert in, and he's going to talk about that. So that is super important for informative videos, and really for any videos, is if you're doing something that other people are doing and they're capturing the same topic, don't f***ing do it in the same way. Find the story that's unique in a way that only you can describe it. Make yourself valuable. You can be talking about something that you've experienced that other people have already experienced, and there's no point in doing that unless your perception of it gives like some new sort of insight than everyone else's. Like if it's just the same experience as everyone else that people have already uploaded, they're gonna watch the bigger people over you if it's the same content. So don't compete with people that are making the same content. Compete in that arena and then specialize. And that will help tremendously with growth, and that's something that Gene was telling us about. To summarize, if you have different information than the other big people out there, or you know more about a specific part of it, make a video on that, and that will make you more valuable to the YouTube community. And that brings us to number 2. Number 2 is become an expert on whatever your channel is about. This is pretty self-explanatory. The way Gene described it, if you spend more time than anyone else thinking about a topic and researching it, you'll know more than them about it. You know, you can make a video about something that you just got, or you can get it, spend weeks researching a part of it that other people aren't researching, be an expert on that and make a video on it, and you'll get way more engagement out of it. If you're an expert on something, people are gonna wanna hear from you. They're not gonna wanna hear from you as much if you didn't take the time to even learn about what you're talking about. I hope that's not me in this video right now. So those 2 tips applied a lot to kind of informative videos and more general stuff like that. But let's talk about specifically tips that help with vlogging a lot. Tip number 3. Tip number 3. Tip number 3. Tip number 3. We're there, right? There's 19 videographers. Most of us are YouTubers, and most of us are vloggers. You have 19 people vlogging the same event. How the are you going to make people want to watch yours? Especially if they've already seen the other one, if they release faster than you, etc. So tip number 3 is to find the unique story that matters. And this kind of ties in with the whole being different thing and finding things that people care about and want to hear that people aren't stopping to take a look at. So for instance, the first day we went to a bunch of temples. I heard a monk talk about a bunch of aspects of monk life, and we went to a Muay Thai fight. A bunch of things happened during that day, and no one really watches vlogs to find out what happened and to just see a plot line, like a sequence of events with no real drama or anything like that. People watch things because of the characters, long term. Short term, they might watch something because of like the immediate information it gives them, but for vlogs specifically, if you want to retain long-term viewership, you have to be engaging as a person. They have to want to watch you, not the stuff for that day, because you last. The video is just one time. So if you just want one video that gets views and the rest that don't focus on character. Back to the story of the monks. So Adam, amazing guy, great videographer. He's like a commercial videographer in Australia. Check out his channel, it's really good. He decided to focus on the monk describing this concept of freedom happiness. And it's like this really, really cool concept about balance and happiness and the way all that stuff works. And he made a great video with the monk himself talking over really cinematic B-roll of the whole trip that like really applied to what he was saying. Obviously set to good music. And that was really, really good. And I thought about doing a video on the similar concept, but then he made it. And I was like, well, I gotta focus on something else now. I don't wanna do the same thing that everyone else is doing, because the more you do that, the more people you have to compete with. If you get specific and you find the interesting stories in events that people care about, that's what's gonna bring your vlog out more. So I decided to focus on the monk's daily life, and I did all that stuff. Gene, in contrast, he made a vlog of the whole day, and he kind of did it with like the contrast of the peaceful temples and the monk versus the epic Muay Thai fighting at night, and kind of the two different sides, night and day, like this stuff. I chose to focus on the monk again, because he's a person, and I thought he was really interesting. And another really interesting thing that he talked about was what a day in the life of a monk is like. So that was the title of my video. That's what I focused on, and that's what the bulk of the middle of it was. I found a different story in the same place as 19 other people and made a vlog about it after the fact, without even knowing that was the material I was gonna get. And that's the thing that's hard about vlogs. You don't always know what the is gonna happen, because life is unpredictable. But you have to be able to find those stories within that and have captured enough to create them. So to summarize, a vlog is not just a sequence of events. The things that happen are important, but what's more important is how they affect the people that they happen to, how you interact with what's happening. That's your vlog. It's not the thing that happens and you're just a patient observer. It's it happening. It happens to you. How does it affect you? How does it affect the people around you? And what sort of space are all of you guys in? That is what separates it from just being a video with cool B-roll shots of something happening. So these concepts are very similar to what you'll find in short story writing or TV shows or anything like that. We are characters, but we're real and things happen to us. And just think about, when you're making a vlog, would you watch it? Not just to find out what happened. Would you care to watch it? And what would make you care? And a big answer to that question lies in the next tip, which is treating the camera like your friend, not just a camera. Because when you're vlogging your life, you're inviting people to see sort of what your life is like. And if you treat it just as a separate thing and you don't include them in the little intimate conversations between everyone, it's not really your life. And they'll care about you more if you choose to be more vulnerable, choose to include the bad things that happen, not just the good things, and be as open with the camera as you would be with anyone. That's what makes it different. So tell a story of something happening and tell it in a way that no one else can tell it, that only you with your experience can tell through this video. Or find someone else. Find a subject in the video that people are ignoring and walking by and focus on that. So many things are interesting in this life, and we just walk by them and say, oh, nothing interesting happened today. But half of the intrigue of something is how you interact with it. This is super cliche, but every single person has a story. If you talk to them, that's an extra story. So flip all the way around to Gene again. A lot of this is the stuff that he talked about, and he's saying making Peter McKinnon like B-roll is not as important as you think it is. And he was telling that to us, and he explained it as sort of, you can get these amazing shots that he's known for, and you could try to be his clone in a way and just make these really cinematic sequences. But at the end of the day, watching something cool is never going to substitute for watching a person you care about. One of them is totally based on a video to video basis, and if you can't perform to what people want to see, then they're going to leave. But if they care about you as a person, you can still do cool things. If they care about you as a person, they're more likely to continue to watch, because it's sort of like they get to see what you're up to and connect with you and be involved in the stuff that's happening without actually being there. And that is a really cool thing about vlogging. So number one, focus on things that other people ignore. Number two, be an expert on those things. Number three, be different in the way that you do things, in the story that you find, and bring a new light to things. Tell a story that only you can tell. Number four, did I even have a number four in here? Number four, treat the camera like your best friend. Don't treat it like some piece of trash that's just watching from the outside. That's the whole point of vlogging, is to let them in. Number five, haven't said it yet. That's why you're wondering what the there was on number five. Number five is, it's gonna be freaking hard. And this applies to everything that you want to be good and influential at. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take time, and you can't expect to just blow up overnight. Even if you follow all these tips, even if you follow all the great tips that all the great YouTubers have ever done, your first video is not going to go viral 99% of the time. And even if it does, that doesn't necessarily relate to lots of subscribers coming in. And the way Gene said it is, don't do YouTube if you're doing it to become rich, because there's plenty of much easier ways to get rich than going on YouTube. Even doing that, it doesn't turn out that way a lot of the times, because to make money you have to turn things into a business, and if you don't do that, it doesn't matter how many followers you have, you're not going to make that much money. But the whole point of this, don't think of it as something that you're trying to make a bunch of money off of. Think it as something that you love to do. If you do that, it's going to be so much more sustainable, and you're going to be more likely to continue doing it longer, which will increase your chances of growing. If you just focus on these things, another little Gene insight is just focus on 10 views a day at the beginning. Don't focus on a bunch of views all at once, because it's much more important to get that consistency in than it is to just make a one-hit wonder. So do that, focusing on making every video your best, but don't be too afraid to release things often. Eventually people will recognize it if you keep at it. So don't give up, guys. Y'all are the best. If any of this was helpful to you as a YouTuber or as not a YouTuber, feel free to like and subscribe if you want. Say goodbye to the polar bear. I need to get another polar bear on this side that says goodbye. That doesn't make any sense. That says not welcome. So those are 5 big things that helped me the most immediately. Obviously, I learned way more things about YouTube, way more things about life and culture and people, and so many things on this trip, and I can't even begin to talk about a fraction of it on this. So you can bet that I'm going to be hanging out with those guys again in a couple months here. So maybe we'll see another video about more stuff I learned then, and that'll grow with experience, and hopefully it'll get more informative by that point. So if any of this helped you, or you're just weird and watch me for fun, then feel free to like and subscribe, and definitely subscribe to Gene, Potatojet's channel, because he's freaking talented, and Adam, and all the freaking people that I'll probably be mentioning in future videos. So thanks so much, guys. Peace.